The Green Knight was not a success. Written and directed by David Lowery, the film's theatrical debut premiered in 2021 to a split audience. Most people think the film's split reaction is because of the artistic nature of the film, with its use of heavy symbolism and non-direct and at times non-linear storytelling. However, this is what makes the film unique. The story is an adaptation of the 14th century poem Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, written by an unknown author. The story follows Gawain, the nephew of a king, who on Christmas Day accepts a challenge from the Green Knight, a mysterious stranger, to behead him. After cutting off the Green Knight's head, the Green Knight picks it up and explains to Gawain that on the next Christmas, Gawain is to travel to him and let him cut off Gawain's head. The film then jumps to a few days before next year's Christmas. Gawain prepares to leave the castle and travel to the Green Knight. Throughout his journey, Gawain faces 3 challenges, then arrives at the Green Knight on Christmas. And the movie ends with the Green Knight bringing his axe down on Gawain's neck. The Green Knight is a story that has been told for centuries because of what it stands for. It focuses on the importance of the individual and questions if we actually make an impact in our life and how that's done, and explores it through the use of time, death, and beliefs. We can examine this with the methodology of semiotics to develop the way an individual significance is shown through the Green Knight. One of the most well-known and established symbols of time are circles. Circles are a commonly used symbol in the art world as a rule in place to show that time repeats and does not stop. Circles themselves are used constantly throughout the film. With this established rule on such major elements of the movie, we can infer that each of these show us the idea that just like time affects everything, what is happening in the story is affecting everything, and what is happening will happen again and again. We can also see the use of index with 2 related scenes involving time. In both of these scenes, we see the use of index as Gawain quickly ages in a time lapse, with the world aging around him as well. Both times, his beard grows, his skin becomes wrinkled, and eventually we see a skeleton or nothing left of where his body was. These show us the ideas of time as a force without an opponent, with no way to stop it. We are helpless as Gawain is helpless, and can only watch as he ages and dies. In both the use of circles and the elements of aging, time is treated as an unstoppable force that results in the same thing over and over again: life, then death. This provides the first answer to the question of individual significance. If time is unstoppable, and we will all live and die again and again, then the significance that someone holds as an individual is nothing in the face of time. Religious symbols are scattered throughout the film, as it uses established visual elements to draw our attention to them. A perfect example of this are the crowns that the king and queen wear. Unlike our traditional ideas of crowns ordained with jewels, the one in the films go against more traditional design and are simple pieces of riveted gold with halos attached to the back of the heads. We see the same halos from the back of the head as an icon in religious or Christian paintings and sculptures. This helps us to see the use of halos on the king and queen as important, powerful, and holy with God. In contrast to the holy icons of the king and queen, we also see pagan icons with the witches in the film. Gawain's mother and other witches are shown with bones, fires, chanting, and potions. Though not as singular as the crowns, all these elements together create known icons of unholy beliefs and ideas. To answer the question of how belief affects a person's significance, we look at the common element: the king holds his power with his religious sign, the crown. The witches hold their power with their bones and potions. And in the end of the film, though, each one of these is limited by the person holding the belief. With this, we can clearly answer the question of how does belief affect a person's significance? The answer being that a person's belief only impacts their significance to the extent of how long they hold the belief. With ghosts, skeletons, and graves throughout the film, it is no secret that the Green Knight has a constant portrayal of death. During the film, Gawain stays at a house, though he is visited by the ghost of a young girl. She asks Gawain if her father sent him to her, and he responds that he does not know her father. And based on the decay of the house and the body, she has been dead for years. With all of these elements in mind, we can infer that Gawain does not know her or who she is, and that her father has also forgotten about her and has never looked into her death, nor did anyone else. This sparks the question of if someone will be forgotten after their death, then what weight did their life hold? The answer can be found when looking at the other death scenes. In the first, we see him not complete his journey, and he dies. In the second, we see Gawain complete his journey and become king until he dies. Despite him succeeding or even becoming king, the evidence of him eventually fades away as he is forgotten. This has us look at the outcome of death with whether or not a person's life influences their death. The Green Knight answers this by showing us that no matter your accomplishment or who you were or how you died, eventually you will be forgotten. Now, on the surface, one may look at this examination and believe that the semiotic examples shown in the Green Knight give a very bleak outlook, though this isn't true. Even though we are shown that time will repeat, doing things for the right reasons, even if it might not give lasting effects, is important to those it momentarily impacts. With belief, we see that it ends when believers end, but while they live, belief gives them drive. Finally, with death, we see how important it can be to leave positive memories for others to look back on, even if they may fade away. I believe it can be best summed up that through a semiotic analysis of the Green Knight, an individual significance is gathered through themselves and how they choose to live by positively impacting themselves and others. Thank you for watching my video essay on this topic. If you want to look at any of the sources mentioned in the video, I will have them all cited in the description, and I of course encourage you to go and watch The Green Knight. Thanks again.
Now, off with your head.